You want to ask a specific question, a specific quality about that dish. Ask about it. If citrus zest is what really, blows this dish out of the water, draw your guest attention to that. That's how you do that check back. You want people to genuinely enjoy themselves. You want to remove appetizer plates once finished, crumb and mise for next course. And this is a nice opportunity, a revenue generator. Offer that second round of drinks, or try to sell that bottle of wine for entrees. By the time that appetizers are done, someone is definitely finished with their first drink, and you want to kind of get them right before they really finish, because you want it back. You want to bring them a fresh glass of something as they're finishing the last one. You don't really want to have a gap. Again, you have your check back because of the entrees have been delivered. Do your check back of 2 minutes or 2 bites. Then once they look like they are finished, that's when you clear your tables. Sometimes this is what we run into. Anybody have a moment where they run into guests who want their food out of their way as soon as they're done, versus kind of an old school thought of, please don't touch my plate until my guest is finished? Totally happens. So how do you deal with that? What do you ask?
Well, I was going to say, normally you can tell because that person will have like their plate pushed over to the side with stuff stacked on it. If not, we don't clear until everybody's done.
Okay. I don't want anybody stacking anything on a table. A guest shouldn't have to do a single thing. Don't make them clear anything. You want to get there first. Once you clear the table and everybody's done, you want to crumb it. This is kind of back to like me personally. I kind of make a mess when I go out. My boyfriend does not. He doesn't. I am so thankful that a server is there to crumb the table after I finish, because it's almost a little embarrassing. Sitting like, can you imagine? There's like drips everywhere, and my boyfriend is completely pristine, and you got to get my back. Clean up after everybody. They don't want to be in their own mess. Okay. You're automatically gonna hand a dessert menu to each guest, and you're gonna offer coffee, tea, or after dinner drinks. This is just part of it. Don't ask. This is back to what we're talking about of enhancing that experience. Don't ask people if they want a dessert menu. If you ask me, I will always say no. If you hand me a dessert menu, I will certainly look at it and I'll hate it, but I will choose something. Okay? But that's part of it. You want to assume the sale and then take it. Okay? If somebody does order coffee or tea service, there is coffee and tea service that we will go over once we have our La Colombe training and we're using Mighty Tea. But there is that extra bit of specialness on that as well. Okay. Then you're going to meet guests for dessert before their dessert offering has arrived. If a guest does order coffee or an after dinner drink, please have that down at that table before the dessert arrives.
I get so pissed if I get my dessert before a coffee or a drink. Like, that's a huge pet peeve for me. Maybe it's just me.
I don't think it's just you.
That's so annoying.
Yeah. Or if you, it's the same deal as if you receive your appetizer before your cocktails.
Before your cocktail, yeah, totally.
What? Mm-mm. And you're responsible for the timing. You drive this ship, okay? Or car. I guess you steer a ship. But absolutely. After you have dessert, you do your check back, because again, you want people, this is also an opportunity. If somebody's excited, this is where they can share it with you. You can really get into it and you can establish that connection, and next time you're gonna know what they liked. Hey, if you liked this chocolate pie this time, I bet you would love this. Like, build your knowledge and work from it, okay? You're gonna crumb the table and you're gonna ask if the guests would like to join us in the lounge for the next set. If that's the case, we have down here, activate guest transition. So that'll be between hosts and Ryan and myself on getting people over here and seating them for the next thing. Okay? If the evening is at a close, you're going to print table's itemized receipt and attach it to clipboard. This day and age, you don't want to assume who is paying for the check. It's kind of rude to do that. Okay? So we want to put it in an equal distance between the 2 guests, 4 guests. We have round tables, square tables. Pop it right in the center.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Back up a little bit.
Yeah.
If we're asking them to join us in the lounge for the next set, like what if there's not room over here? What if it's packed?
We'll be able to communicate that.
Okay.
Ideally, we're going to be able to communicate that to you 100%.
Okay.
With, all right, we're looking around like we have 3 tables that are open. But absolutely, it's definitely smart to think about all those different scenarios.
95% of the time you're going to know if your guest wants to go to the jazz cafe or parlor before you're halfway through the dinner.
Right.
So you can check with me and I'll let you know if something's open or not.
Yeah, good question. So we've dropped the clipboard with the itemized check in the center of the table. Once that's done, you're going to pick up payment. Always assume that you're getting change. Don't ever assume that the money, if it's cash, that the tip is included. It's just a courtesy thing, and you don't want to assume anything. You know that saying, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. So that's kind of, that's part of it. So you always get the right change, and if they're paying with a credit card, you want to process that payment within 5 minutes. When you're done with your meal and you want to go to the next thing, 5 minutes is forever. Forever. Okay, so that's kind of the swiftest moment, I think, of making it easy for them to exit. You want to, once you bring back the change, you're going to thank them. Invite them back. After that happens, they're still your guests. Okay? It's not like, oh, processed your check. Boop. Bye. It doesn't work like that. I'm still going to be paying attention to, does she have water? Is the coffee okay? Do they need to be crumbed? Do they need anything? They're still a priority to you. Gonna pick up the checkbook, invite them back. Everybody feel good about the theory of the cycle of service? Okay, awesome. So study this for you guys also. Your steps of service are all in here, okay? All right, so now to an activity. We have the language of service. So a lot of it is, it's not just about what we say, it's how we say it. It's important to use experience elevating words. We want to stay away from good. And this is great. This is excellent. Isn't that wonderful? You see how did the words mean the same thing? Yes, but I'm more likely to get, yes, this is wonderful, back than, yeah, this is good. Kind of feel the difference on that? Okay. So what I have here, just give you a little bit of a blurb about Chef Martin and what he will be showcasing. Working with local purveyors, different gumbo specials, all of that. I want you to take a couple of minutes and think about what and how you're gonna greet your table. You're gonna introduce yourself and the restaurant to your guests. So for the greet, it sets the tone and the pace for everything. Like I said before, you are the driving force of the timing of your tables. If you are in the weeds, if you were triple sat, There's a way to undo that. It has everything to do with when you order something or how you're going to your guests or how you're scaffolding that for them. It is totally possible to get out of the weeds just by making 3 or 4 key decisions about when you do things. But we'll get to that. So you have to define the experience by defining our concept. We've been talking a lot about New Southern cuisine, that we're rediscovering a lot of grains and different cooking processes that have kind of been lost with industrialization. So it's really cool that we're bringing everything back. You're gonna get a taste that you haven't had before or that you don't have access to in Philadelphia. So think about what that sounds like. Also, I'm not gonna tell you specifically, this is what you say, because I don't want you to be robots. Like we said, I want you to be yourself. Bring your personality to the table. Use the words that you would use. Make sure that they're experience elevating, but I want it to mean something to you. Okay? Review any beverage and food menus that are 86 or our specials. We're in a cool or unique situation where our specials will last a week, so you have time to memorize it and find the right rhythm and the right flow and the right word choice to ensure that you're going to be making that sale every time. Because again, it has everything to do with how you're saying something. Everything. You need to be proactive in determining which guests may have allergy or dietary restrictions. In this day and age, and a lot of it I think also is because we've lost how we process our grade and how we process our weed. We have a lot more allergies. A lot more allergies running around. And it's kind of like, oh great, like why are they out? No, just because you have a food allergy, you can come out too. If we can accommodate you, we want to accommodate you. And you want to keep people safe. And anybody that has an allergy is really going to appreciate it because you're looking out for them. We're working on allergy charts so you can also be able to navigate what can be modified, what can't, and kind of figure out how to make suggestions or recommendations based off of that. But imagine if you didn't find out, you didn't ask if somebody has a food allergy or dietary restriction. When is the most common that comes up?
Once they see it.
Once they see it on the dish that's in front of them already.
Or have some kind of really bad negative reaction.
Or have a negative reaction or some type of food allergy. Oh my gosh. Be proactive. Keep people safe. Build that trust. Find out if they can eat everything. So you have your water preference and you need to communicate the food and beverage additions. So take a couple of minutes,